Good morning, everybody. Thanks again for joining me here on the beach. It's another beautiful morning. So when I first got into recovery, one of the things that I used to do is I would show up for meetings either right on time or just a couple minutes late. I'd sit through the meeting. As soon as it was over, I'd bolt. I'd hit that door running. I was gone. My plan was to get sober, but never have to talk to another alcoholic. I was going to do this thing alone. Well, I found out pretty quickly that I can't do it alone. I need other people. Well, I also need something more than that. You know, the big book says lack of power. That was our dilemma. Well, I definitely had that dilemma. I didn't have the power. I did not have the power to quit drinking on my own. And you and I both know that it's more than just not drinking. Recovery is about living. I thought I had a drinking problem. Turns out what I had was a thinking problem. My thinking was skewed. I was in trouble, and I didn't know how to get out of it. I didn't know what to do. And I thought that with my high level of intelligence and a little bit of knowledge, that I could get sober on my own without any help. Today I know that without that power greater than myself, as well as the other people in recovery, I'd either still be out there or I'd be dead. So once I came to that realization that I needed to find the power, that power greater than myself, the big question was, how do I do that? You know, I knew that they were talking about God, but I'd already been that route, you know? I was raised going to church. I knew a lot of what it had to say in the Bible, things like that. I'd already been that route. And God had not delivered the things that I wanted in life. You know, I looked at God as like Santa Claus or something. I had this long list of things that God could do for me. Never once did I think, what could I do for God and other people? Not once. I never thought that way. In recovery, I have learned to think that way. How can I be of service to God and to the people around me rather than it all being about me? I dropped that self-centered attitude. I became willing. Now, that didn't happen overnight, because I still had not even found that power yet. How did I find that power? It's unfortunate because for me, like I said, I was raised going to church and that sort of thing. And so, you know, that whole God topic, I had set that off to the side. Look, I've already been there, done that. He's over here in case I ever need him again. Well, I needed him again, and I didn't realize it until I hit my bottom. Something very valuable about pain. Pain is an awesome, awesome motivator. You know, you guys have heard me talk many times about the consequences of our drinking. You've heard me talk about the gifts of sobriety. But the consequences of my drinking is what led me to God. You know, even an atheist who's about to have a major car accident is going to go, "Oh, God, help." That's basically what it came down to. It was out of desperation that I leaned on God. I reached out for help. My life was a complete and utter shambles. Now, did it have to go that far? I don't know. Maybe not. But it did go that far. There was nothing left, man. My life was over. The pain of that situation for me is what made it possible for me to have an open mind about God. You know, there's nobody else left. Nobody else to turn to. And I wasn't doing it on my own. That was pretty obvious. I'd been attempting recovery for years, but I'd been attempting it on my own. And now, I was ready to allow God in. But it was only out of desperation. That willingness came because of the pain. It doesn't have to be that way, I don't think. I think that we can make that conscious decision to be open to God. He's the one that has the power that's greater than us. It's amazing how stubborn I can be. I resisted the whole God thing for years. I mean years. And talk about consequences. Whew. I definitely had those. Today, life is so much easier because I turned it all over to Him. He's in charge. When I'm in charge, it's not a pretty world. But when God's in charge, it's beautiful. It really is beautiful when God's in charge. All I got to do is stay out of His way. I take all 12 steps daily. Daily. I stay involved with other people. I try to help others. Hell, that's what this YouTube channel is about. This is about helping other people. It's about getting out of me, reaching out to other people, and asking God, what else can I do? What can I do to be a part of rather than apart from? You know, if you're resisting God, I understand. I've been there. I've resisted God as well. But God is what brought me back from the gates of hell. And all it took was an open mind and some willingness. I hope that you guys can find that without having all the consequences that I had. Being open-minded to a power greater than yourself. When you're powerless to begin with. Think about it. I'm powerless, but I don't want to find a power greater than myself. That makes no sense at all. If you're powerless, you have a dilemma, and that is lack of power to make you happy, joyous, and free. You guys have a great day, and may God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.